Hello and welcome back to the Tin Barn. I'm Pragmatic Lee, and this week's video is going to be a simple split clamp. I'm going to take this piece of 4-inch wide by 1-inch thick aluminum round stock and make a split clamp out of it. This is to be used over a piece of 2-inch pipe. So I've already put a center line on here, but what we're going to do is take this over to the lathe first and bore out a 2-inch center. Then we'll carry it over to the mill, drill and tap for our clamp bolts. Then we'll split it on this line. The purpose of this video is to show making this split clamp. But I'll give you a very quick little background of what this is for. We've got 3 video projectors at our church, 2 at the front of the church and 1 at the back. The one at the back has give out. It won't work anymore, and it's a very high ceiling. We've got a 12-foot step ladder, and you got to get pretty close to the top of that ladder to reach the projectors. They're suspended from the ceiling. All 3 of them are suspended from the ceiling on a piece of 2-inch steel pipe. This just happens to be a piece of 2-inch aluminum, but they're suspended from the ceiling on these, attached to these pipes. To assist in holding the old one as we take it down and the new one as we put a new one back up, I want to make this split clamp to go around this pipe. And what I'll do is put a slot on one side that we can thread a strap through, a strap with a hook on it. These projectors have got a handle on the bottom of them that we can put that hook that strap into that handle, pull it up through this clamp, tie it off, and that will assist in the person, assist the person that's up on the ladder having to take the old one down and put the new one up. So let's get turned over to the lathe now first and bore out our 2-inch center. All right, I've got the carriage locked. I've got it where everything clears. We'll take our piece of stock, and just be sure it's seated good and tight against the lathe jaws. Obviously, I've got the outside jaws in now. We'll start out with a center drill. All right, now we're ready to set up a boring bar. And with this being on the outside jaws and with these out here, I want to be absolutely sure that my jaws are going to clear the compound. Cross slide. In other words, that everything can be clear. That is through. All right, I'm going to set the carriage stop down here just so I don't go any further. And in my projects, when I set this carriage stop like that, if I know it's in place, I don't have to worry about looking up here to see where it comes through. I just watch this carriage stop because I know at that point, as long as I don't run the compound in, that everything is going to clear. We got another inch to take out of this, half on each side. Okay, just looking in there to be sure we weren't getting close to hitting our chuck jaws. Let's get a measurement. We're looking for 2 inches here. We got about 60 more thousandths to go. And this measurement doesn't have to be precise. I'm going to use this piece of aluminum pipe or tubing just to be sure we got a 2-inch clearance. Just going to make a spring pass here. That's a good fit right there. Once we get it split and a little bit of that taken off, that's where our clamping action will come from. So now let's see if we can't dress up these edges just a little. Okay, I got a little different tools now that I can should be able to get both of these surfaces with. All right, I think we're ready to go over to the mill and get set up over there. Okay, if you recall from the beginning, I used my center square and put a line through the center over here, not to find the center, but just to have a center line. Now we're going to use that over here in the mill vise, and I'm going to stack a couple parallels up just so we can set that up. And by eye is plenty good right here. So we'll be sure that's seated down. Now I'm going to quickly find the center and on both axes. There is the center. Okay, I didn't have any 1/4-20 socket head cap screws long enough, so I'm going to use a 5/16 18, and we'll install the tap drill for that. Well, actually, before I start drilling, I'm going to put an end mill in the chuck. I know that's not a good thing to do, but now I'm not necessarily looking to countersink this entire head. All I want is a flat surface for this head to set on. That too much run out where they don't have a lot of gripping surface right here on this particular end mill. Let me try another one. If it doesn't, if that's too much run out with it being in a chuck, I'll put a collet in. Oh, that's much better. Again, what I'm interested in doing now is just getting a flat surface. All right, now we can move over to the side. Maybe you can see what's going on here. So what we have in here now is a recess. That head can sit down on flat. So what I'm going to do now is use the tap drill for a 5/16 18 and drill probably the majority of the flutes on this bit. It looks like about an inch from this line to the flat here, so I'll drill a total of 2 inches deep. Now again, this is the tap drill. Let me double check, yep. There's 2 inches. I'm going to go 100 thousandths over. Now, so I don't change any of the heights, I'm just going to back off to the side. Go to 1.5 inches on the other side of the 0. On the x-axis, of course. And then come back to 0 on my DRO on the y-axis. Now I'm going to take the clearance drill for a 5/16, which of course would be a 5/16 drill, and we'll go 1 inch deep. Actually, what I'll do is come out here sight the clearance and set the 0 on the z-axis. Now, if you don't have a DRO on your mill and you're doing something like this, I would highly suggest changing the tools out instead of putting one tool in, doing both positions, putting another tool in. I would, without a DRO, I'd get the mill set and do all my activities at that location. And again, I set the 0 on the z-axis, and I'm just watching that z-axis DRO now to bring it down to 0. All right, now I think we're ready to put the slitting saw in and slit this in two. As far as tapping this bottom part, we'll do that after we get it cut in half. I'll come right back when I got the slitting saw on. Okay, a little disclaimer right up front. Ordinarily, cutting something like this with a slitting saw, as per advice of Tom Lipton, go ahead and set your depth as deep as you can with your saw and make your cut. And I would do that. I've done it in steel. I've cut inch thick steel with a single pass. But I'll be upfront and honest with you. My slitting saws, this is the last one I've got that didn't break or tooth off or just completely unusable, and this one is dull. So I'm going to have to take small amounts. I'm sure my vise is good and tight, but this is going to be probably a little bit painful to watch, just simply because I'm having to take such shallow cuts with it. All right, I'm seeing a little issue here. I'm going to hit my back jaw back here, and that's a little warm. But I'm going to stop the camera for just a moment, take this off, and then be right back. All right, I got my back riser jaw off. So now we'll come back up that side. Realize there's not a lot you can see, but just hang with me. By the way, that's the WD-40 smoking. That's not the material, but the blade is definitely dull. Okay, that was an adventure. I do like using slitting saws though, because they do such a good job, leave a good finish. I'm going to let that cool a little bit. I'll take the slitting saw out, and then we'll get ready to tap these two holes. Okay, since I've not changed the position of the workpiece in the vise, and I've not used a DRO for anything else, I can still use my same 1.5 inches off center and 0 on the Y. So we're going to tap these bottoms. 5/16, 24. This is a 2-fluted tapered tap. And we'll come 1.5 inches on the other side of center. Now we'll go in with the bottom tap. All right, I think I'm ready to do a little deburring, then we'll go over to the vise and see how well this clamps on our piece of 2-inch tubing. All right, in the situation that this will be used in, like I said, at the church, these pipes are going up through the attic, and then on this end have got the mounting plate for the projector. So won't be able to put the two pieces together and slide it over. Basically what my helpers will have to do is put that over it, and they can let this set down on the projector or on the mount for the projector and get the screws started. I think I might need to run the tap back in these threads just to clean them out. But what I'll ask them to do, of course, is to try to keep the space the same on the two sides. When I get it up close, being snug, just put it in place and tighten down. So I think that's going to work fine. I'll show you the so there's about that much of clamping space on each side. This is the way the socket head cap screws go in. So now what we're going to need to do is take this half, carry it back to the mill, and put a slot in here for the strap to go through. Strap, of course, will have the hook that will hook onto the handle on the projector. All right, to make this slot for the strap, I'm going to use a 7/32 end mill, and I've already located center on both the X and Y axis. Now, this is obviously not long enough to go all the way through. It will go a little bit past halfway. So I'm going to have to flip the piece so that I don't have to refine center, at least on the x-axis. I've got this lined up with the edge of the mill vise now. So when I flip it over, I should be able to just line that up, and my center should remain the same. Now I'll be using 1 inch, like these common ratchet straps. I'll be using the long piece out of it. So I'm going to make this a little over 1 inch wide, just to make it easy to get the piece in. So let's go over, let's see, 0.5. Let's go over 0.55, and that'll give us 100 thousandths clearance by the time we do that on both sides. And we're going to plunge in. We're going to try anyhow. And this is a 4-flute end mill. I'd love to have a 2-flute one for aluminum, but 4-flute's what I got, so I need to keep it lubricated to keep the chips from building up on it. All right, that's not the full depth yet, but what I'm going to do is just start cutting some threads out. Tell you what, let's go back and not try to get quite that much at the time. I'll zero out right there, and we'll try, say, 250 thousandths at the time. All right, there's 550 thousandths. We'll go just a little bit, we'll try about 600 thousandths total depth. Actually, I'm going to go down a little bit more. This end mill, the flutes are cut on it right on up into the spiral, and if I can get it, not the spiral, onto the taper, if I can get that just a little bit more, that'll give me a bit of a chamfer on these edges as well. So that's 630 thousandths, and I'll just remember that for the other side. All right, I'm going to flip it over now and keeping this edge in line after I blow some chips out. All right, we'll make our first depth cut to about half of what we want in total, so there should be about 400 thousandths left in there. So we'll go down 200 thousandths. Now we'll go down our full 630, which will be only about 200 thousandths of cutting. We'll take that out, get the burrs out, and see what it, or get the chips out, see what it looks like. I think that lined up pretty good, especially to be a flip piece. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a final deburring around on this, and then carry it to the church this afternoon and put it to use. And then we'll come back. I'll try to get some pictures of while we're at the church, possibly even some video. And then we'll wrap this video up. Okay, here's a quick view of our sanctuary. I brought the portable camera with me. It's still about 45 minutes before it's time for my help to be here. Just thought I'd give you a quick overview of what we're looking at doing here. Up front, as you can see, there's a projector on that side, and another one over here. But the one that's gone bad is right up there. So I think while I'm waiting for my help to get here, I'm going to go up the ladder and put the clamp ring, the ring clamp that we made earlier today. Go ahead and put that on and maybe get the strap hung. Again, all this is for is to assist in holding it in place to take the screws out. Once that's done, it'll be let down by hand. It's not that heavy, it's just very cumbersome to deal with. So it's, again, about 30 minutes before it's time for my help. I'll give them time to get here. Okay, normally when I conclude a video, I'll have the finished product in hand or have the camera on the finished product to give you one last shot at it. But in this case, the clamp ring is back at the church. Here's the projector we took down. If any of you are projector experts, I'd appreciate your opinion. This happened all of a sudden. Right now the power light is on, and the warning filter or filter warning light is on as well, and it's on steady, which the manual says means that the filter is completely clogged up. The filter is brand new. It's a brand new filter in it. It was never allowed to get clogged up to begin with. I have taken the air hose, blown any dust that might have been in here out. Still get that, but here's the kicker. When you turn on, of course, the power lamp comes on, and then just a few seconds later, all 5 lights flashing. I'll show you a little image of what the manual says about the 5 lights flashing. In any case, I think the clamp worked out good. I really appreciate Cameron and Tanner coming to help this old man out, because I sure didn't like climbing that ladder. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you on the next one.